control me. I believe in many cases, I'm at that glass ceiling that you hear women talking about. I have the skills, education, and training. I'm always called to be on these special committees to do this, or whatever. But as far as some of the promotions and things, when I go for them, I don't get those. But in a sense, because I've really come to understand who I am, and I know that was a part of the development of where I'm going to go, it has really pushed me to actually pursuing what it is I feel that God has ordained for my particular life. And so as a result, I use them for what I need at this particular time, knowing that that's not going to be permanent.
That was a contact him. Absolutely. Okay. But when you were saying that, it reminded me of a conversation that I oftentimes have with my husband. Whereas with women, I said it's very interesting because there can be a group like we are tonight, where when a woman says something, oftentimes it falls on deaf ears. Like it. Okay. But the man can come right back to you, can say the exact same thing, or maybe say it differently, and it's a phenomenal, display, right? And so I think that with Black women, we have, because of that, oftentimes we have to shout louder, be more assertive, be more kind of demanding in our demeanor. Now that is sometimes interpreted as aggression, as anger, as, radical, or however you want to put it. And so I think that is a burden. I mean, that is a struggle that we have to endure. Absolutely. So I'm like, absolutely. And so when you're operating in that manner from, let's say, 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, and then you transition to your more more a softer role when you go home. Sometimes it's difficult to make that transition, right? Because you're under attack throughout the day, and so when you come home, it's sometimes difficult to make that transition. So I think sometimes that also affects our relationships when we're interacting with our male counterparts. It is sometimes, whereas they're looking for us to be more, more nurturing and softer in our approach, but it's sometimes difficult to make that transition when we're not at home. So that's what else was going on.
Can we have a question over here?
Actually, I just wanted to piggyback. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to piggyback on what she was already saying, that absolutely there is a aggression that we have to have as a Black woman, whether it be corporate or now as I am self-employed. It's not so much that you have the difference in the different ways that you have to deal with our counterparts, but what's more discouraging and upsetting is when I am giving direction to my Black people and they say to me, "Come on, sister, why you gonna do me like that?" And I'm just doing my job, and I need you to do your job, and I'm telling you I need you to do your job, but it's expected coming from me, the Black woman, that I should not be telling you to do your job. That's the thing that has been most discouraging to me in the corporate environment, and it's the same thing as I deal with my Black people now that I'm self-employed. I get oppression and aggression and opposition just trying to do my job, whatever it is, that I would not get or they would not give to someone who was white in my position. It is, whether it's corporate and even self-employed, my people are the ones who are more disappointing to me in my positions than the white people are. That's just my experience.
So to piggyback off and to transition into relationships between Black males and Black females, how do you navigate? So you have that armor on at work, you come home, Dr. Gill mentioned that, you have to adjust, and it's difficult. But not too many people are adjusting, and it is difficult, and it's affecting our relationships. So what do you do? How do you handle that? How do you get past that? How do you become more soft, more nurturing, more accepting? I'll give it to him. Go ahead, brother.
First, you select a partner that's on the same level as you are mentally.
Excuse me, where are they? Where are they?
Unfortunately, we are falling to the pitfalls of our country, our government, our society. have to understand that it was not created for us, nor was it intended for us to be successful at it.
But let's say that's a given. Let's say that you are with a partner who is on your same level, and your partner is out there in corporate America. She's dealing with the ups and downs on her job, boss doing this, boss doing that, or you're solo, you're an entrepreneur, and you're just getting from all sides. So you have to have that armor. You're putting it on. You have to fight. So how do you step out of that? How do you take that off and re-engage with your partner? You better have
are we talking about a relationship?
Yeah, relationship.
Well, let me tell you what I learned. From my relationship, we learned is that through all the trials and tribulations, because, like, I watched my wife fall, and she was a hot kid when I first dealt with her younger. So you got the 20s Melody, you got the 30s Melody, you know, those things. So what I found out, it's not about necessarily love. What I found is the foundation of a relationship, which I know through all relationships, is respect. I mean, even to your children and everything, it's all about respect. Do I respect this person enough not to, one, disrespect them in a relationship? And when I go to that zone, I find us kind of coping better with this type of situation. She had a bad day, okay, I know it's a real bad day. You know, you gotta understand your part. Okay, this is not my time. Let me let her come off her day. Let me not take what she's, you know, kicking off right now when she's coming off or whatever. You know, and kind of let it go through. But then, you know, that's that give and get that you have to learn. But we maintain respect, meaning that you do not disrespect your mate. And your mate know that you're not into disrespecting him. You'll have less argument, you'll have less fights, it even applies to each other. It's not love. I mean, the friendship thing is about respect. And I think that's what respect will keep you from cheating. Respect will save your life in a lot of areas. That is the foundation, in essence, of our relationships in my opinion.
Go ahead.
Okay, hi. So I have a comment that, I don't know, it may seem a little radical, but to me, who you are at work is who you are in your relationships, because who you are is who you are. Sorry, I'm shaking. And it is not, if you are not taking care of who you are in one place and who you're being at work, who you are at church, who you are with your friends, who you are with your family, all of those personality things show up everywhere you go. And I also think that we as a people are fighting a collective war that doesn't completely exist. We don't even have a target. We're just feel like we have to put armor on, we feel like we're under attack. Half the time it's not even real. It's just made up, and it's what we wake up with in the morning. We don't have anything to do with what's actually happening in the world. We don't react to what's happening actually. We react to what's going on in our heads that we think is happening. So somebody says something, we make it mean X, Y, Z, and that's what we react to, is what we make it mean, not what is actually happening.
But is it perception reality?
Perception is not reality. It is reality is reality.
Okay, so I was just going to actually say a little bit of what both of you said, that really your personalities or the things that you deal with and who you are kind of come through a little bit, you know, everywhere you are. I mean, yes, there are some changes, you know, but I think the thing that helps, if we talk about the Black family and as it relates to marriage and your partner, is to understand and to communicate. I don't say the word communicate, but it's very true. Even if you're not a businesswoman out in the world, right now my job 24/7 on my babies, and I'm very serious about that thing. I'm be careful with that too. Don't talk about my babies now. But I'm very intentional about their education. I'm very intentional, you know, even at home. People joke and they say it's the McNeil school, you know, they still got to do stuff, you know, at home. So what it is if I'm feeling in myself, he better not come home and ask me to do such and so, and I don't tell him these kind of feelings.
folks who disagree with you in this regard. That when I work with couples, especially the educated, I can deal with some folks that never had a degree or a piece of education. They're so much better in therapy than educated folks. So what I have to do with educated folks when they come in and I'm working with them, I have to explain to them, when you enter your house, hang your degrees up, hang your positions up, hang your titles up, because when you enter, you may go from corporate leader, professor, manager, business owner, but when you enter the house, there's a transition that has to occur. That transition is now you're going from this corporate person, whatever, now you are a husband, or you are a father, you're a mother, you're a wife, so the transition has to occur. And even from going from the corporate person into being a husband, and then there's that other transition from being a husband even to the father. So all these steps and layers are critical in the transition. Yes, you're going to carry some of that outside world, but you know what? If you're a great debater, a great mediator out in the world, you don't want to bring that into your relationship because your spouse will know that.
Yes.
You know, all you do is convince people. Now you're trying to convince me. So sometimes there's a need to turn it on, and it becomes important. Now, what I appreciate about what this sister said, I think is equally as important. For men, I tell brothers, when your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, if she's unloading, I say you need to make a decision as you listen. You need to determine what, number one, if she needs you to just listen. Number two, if she needs you to help problem solve. Or number three, if she needs you to solve it. And so what happens sometimes is if you don't do that quick assessment, and then she's coming in and unloading, or he's coming in and unloading, and you say, well, all you need to do is X, Y, and Z. Now, all hell will break loose. Because you didn't stop to listen to the process. So I think, from my seat, when you're coming in, I think it's really important that you get to the point of understanding where you need to make that transition and be aware that you're making that transition. Finally, out in the corporate world, you have to be strong. You have to be solid. You have to not present or show any vulnerabilities. But you know what? Your wife needs that. She needs to know that you're afraid too. Because that's when she'll know to step up and say, whatever you do, I got your back. And so, but if you come here and I got it because you got it in the outside world, and you come in and you got it here, it's the same thing with women. You got to be aggressive or assertive in the outside world. You don't want to bring that in because your husband wants his wife. Your boyfriend wants his girlfriend. And he wants to support you out there in that world. But when you enter that door, you are another person. My final point is there's but one thing, Brother Hill, that is more critical than respect, and that next level is called appreciation. I behave completely different when I appreciate my wife or my children. It makes me want to cook just so I can benefit from the smile when they enter the door. You see, so I got to respect my boss. You see, when I got to appreciate my wife, because now that creates a feeling in me when she enters the door and surprised because I done vacuumed or I done cleaned up. So appreciation is the level when you get beyond that respect, and now you're at this, I call it that grown-up level. Now you appreciate one another. That's what I'm done.
I like it.
From my experience as a wife, I totally agree with him about the appreciation and the communication and the respect. And you know, you have to know when to turn it off. You know, come home, like you said, and hang that up. Because it causes conflict in that family. And that conflict is now conflict with your children. Your children are now teens. So, you know, you have to really, 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 you know, learn that